sitting here trying to remember the last time I was on a Metro North. And it's just demonstrating once again, I don't know what day, year, month, century this is anymore. I'm gonna say 2016, probably the second half of 2016. My girlfriend at the time and I had made a number of little trips up on the Hudson line. And I think the last one we did was Croton. By that time the relationship had really gone sour. So forgive me for feeling a bit melancholy, but I don't know. Everything makes me melancholy, so why should a return to the Metro North be any different? I've had a whole bunch of dalliances and attempts at relationships since then, but I guess all told, she remains the last big one, the last multi-year thing. I had ambitions. I thought the next big thing for me was going to be the stripper. But she turned out to be a disaster, which was no surprise. And not even not this that we weren't going to work out, but she seemed dangerous. I felt like I would be threatened if I stayed in that relationship. Then came a whole bunch of other things. There was the Japanese waif, as I called her, because I don't think she weighed 100 pounds. And I'll just make a long story short with her. She turned out to be a chronic or a compulsive shoplifter. And she was Japanese, but she was in the country illegally. She got in legally, but all her papers expired. And she just one day got deported. I had no idea about the shoplifting thing. She got deported and she was just gone. I never saw her again, and I guess I never will. I mean, who gets deported back to Japan, you know? I also learned later she was a bedwetter. Just hadn't changed the sheets in a while. And then I had a thing with... I'm not even going to say what nickname I gave her because it sounds insulting, but I don't mean it to be. That she was into one of the last taboos of, I guess I can call it that. She really just had a thing for facial, and she talked me into doing it. I didn't like doing it. It felt just, I don't know. I want to say unholy, but I don't mean to attach any religiosity to the discussion, but you know, it's a new thing. The facial is a product of pornography, and it wasn't really being done until the 1970s. The ancients, you know, they did everything we do today in terms of sex, all the kinks, all the bondage, all the everything we do today, except for that. There's no talk of facial cum shots anywhere until about the 1970s. But we ended amicably. And then there were a few dating app dalliances, and I had one little flourish recently, but it's not even worth mentioning. But yeah, the last time I was on the Metro North was the last time that ex-girlfriend and I made a trip together, and that trip actually was fine, but there had been a lot of tension before, and things finally blew up. It ended pretty badly, and I still feel, well, I'm not gonna say, except that it ended badly. I don't know what she's up to anymore. I have no idea if she's still in the neighborhood, or I do see her mother around once in a while. But and we used to make small talk, but we don't have anything to say to each other anymore. I think I just saw her last week. But we cut ties. So where am I going? Well, this should be a quick trip to Mount Vernon West. I just want to see a couple of things, and you can probably guess what they are. But I'm not going to say until we get there, because they might not be there. And with that, I've probably already given it away. Oh, and of course, I can't forget the night at the Crown Motor Lodge with the woman I'd known for a very long time. That was... I actually recorded an audio account of that night the very next morning. But I never did anything with it, because at the time it was too close. It would be too easy for people to possibly connect the narrative to the person that I was talking about. I don't do that anymore. I don't broadcast my so-called romances. I mean, I don't identify people, and I think it's mutual. The women don't want this shit out there floating in the public domain. But I might go ahead and use it someday, because it's a good story. And by now, I think the coast is clear. I don't think anybody would be able to make the connection between me and this person. I mean, we've known each other a long time, but we don't have what you'd call a paper trail online, or nothing, not much to speak of, at least. But that was quite a memorable encounter. Tell you what, I was not paying attention. Almost missed this stop. Let me see. So depending on the vibe, this could be a quick trip, or I might see what else I can find here. Guess what? I can see it already. I don't know if you can, but I see Payphone dead ahead. American Payphone. That company was owned by Mike Basile. And Mike died earlier this year. So if my early litany about failed romances wasn't depressing enough, let's talk about a dead guy and the payphone he left behind. And these fucking pigeons, for Christ's sake. They just appeared right when I did. I didn't throw this fucking bread down. I did meet Mike one time. And that was clearly a guy who knew a whole hell of a lot about the inner workings of a payphone, as I guess you would expect. He'd been in the business since the 80s. So this is fully intact. I don't know if it's ready to be brought back to life, but there you go. That's Mount Vernon West. And there should be one other relic around here. Look at these fucking pigeons. They're like closing in on me. This one's in a strange spot, if you ask me. It's like right under the train. See the train track, but it must have been a very noisy place to try and make a phone call. The empty bud is a nice touch. No way to tell who left this one behind. And you got the landline cover, the tube and everything, suggesting this thing maybe could come back to life someday if somebody plopped a phone in. I seriously doubt it, though. Yeah, this is every bit as noisy a spot as I imagined. I'm gonna fix this. Michael Hedges, Breakfast in the Field. I don't remember that one. This reminds me, I recently spotted a couple of LP records in the, 96th Street station, I think. 96th Street, 123 on Broadway. A couple of LP records stuck in the window of one of the MTA offices. It's very strange. I forget if I posted that video or not. Okay, well this one I don't think I was expecting. Another American, Mike Basile, who by the way was a really good guy. On top of knowing everything you could ever want to know about the inner workings of this type of payphone. And by the way, I did leave my radio card on the previous two. So he didn't put his American Payphone sign on top of this one, but... And I guess he also scarfed this one up for Bell Atlantic. Here we see the last one in context. It's outside the Jamaica Kitchen, Mount Vernon Ave and North High Street. And this one's all locked up. Oh, but he does have his American Payphone sign up there. across from the Lincoln Lounge. So if I had a guess on who left that one behind, the empty clamshell, I'm going to guess it wasn't American. I'm going to guess it was Telebeam. But, you know, you can guess anything you want.
Hallelujah! Thank you! Hallelujah! Yeah! Hallelujah!
Well, if one thing seems to be sure about Mount Vernon, they don't seem to have any pedestrian crosswalk signals. Maybe that's more common than I think, but I'm finding it a little unnerving to have to check the vehicular traffic signals, but I can adapt. Up ahead, we should have a couple more, or maybe just one more. This one looks like it's straight up Verizon. Probably hasn't worked since 2010. One thing about the American payphones being out here is American was among the others, the independent payphone service providers that got kicked out of the 5 boroughs. But that didn't wipe out their holdings completely. They still had business in Westchester and Long Island and New Jersey, I guess. Although I think Newtel pretty much dominated New Jersey, along with PTS. But Verizon, they just cut bait and never looked back at so many of their phones. I don't know how many they got rid of, but they left plenty behind. So where is this? South 4th Avenue and West 1st Street. The lighting is really bad here, but this is what an old emergency call box looks like in Mount Vernon. Probably not even supposed to be here anymore, unlike New York, but they're still mandatory, even though they're completely ineffectual. Not much to see here. It was just seconds after I got that barber's pole that I spotted this old thing. 1st Street and South 11th. I gotta find my way back to the station, to the Metro North station. Christ, here's another one right across the street. There's a freaking graveyard. And this one's intact. Oh, this one's interesting. Maybe it had a lit sign up front, or maybe that was a wireless modem. Can't really tell without closer scrutiny. 9X. Of course, when you talk about American Payphone and maybe Telebeam, still having assets in this area, it begs the question, how long did they work? Or did they still work until any time recently? Looks like there were 2 phones here. I'm guessing this was a total Verizon. Okay, so this is probably the last vestige I'm going to find today. I just missed the train, probably by 30 fucking seconds. And I don't want to miss the next one, so I'm not going to get too far from the station. This is Bronx River Parkway, Bronx River Road, and Yonkers Avenue. But there's no phone here. This line looks like it might not be dangling up here much longer. Yeah, why not give the parking meters some love? I guess these are all still in use. These look similar to the ones New York used to use. I don't have a car anymore, so I don't really connect with parking meters like I might have in the past, but they can be pretty handsome pieces of street furniture. I don't know why, I just thought this was worth a shot. And pointing out that the mailbox is here. They up here as well. They did away with the opening the hatch thing, whatever you call it. You know, you have to be able to squeeze your mail into this pretty narrow thing. And I actually encountered an incident just last week where I was not able to fit something in there. Yeah, that's what she said. So I had to find a post office. And of course, next to it is one of these green storage boxes, also known as relay stations. This one's been here since 1954. So I'll probably be back. There is more to Mount Vernon than what I found today. And I didn't really document much of the city itself, just my usual fixations. But there is a lot more than what I found today. I'm just not ready to spend the rest of the day up here. So I'm going to try to get the 127, which is now arriving at 129, which is 19 minutes. No payphones in the station, but you can be sure there used to be. That sign looks like it was printed with a dot matrix. Look at that sign, first thing I thought was Tetris.
Grand Central. The next station is
This window's filthy.
Once again, this is Wakefield Station, front 4 cars exit at Wakefield. Wakefield Station, front 4 cars exit.
as you exit the train, please watch the gap between the train and the platform.
There's a little bit of fall foliage, if that's your thing. What do they call it? I only recently learned the term peepers. Why would they use that word for anything? Well, it's looking like this return trip is a slow motion clusterfuck. First, for me at least, I missed the previous train by probably 30 seconds. The next train was 10 minutes late. I don't really care about that. Now there was like a medical emergency up ahead. And they have to skip some stations, and some people are really angry. Oh, what a horrible world we live in. And this sun is really ruining my shot.
125th Street and Grand Central Station. This is not the train of Stanford. This is the local train of Grand Central.
If you guys get going, we're going to take coming up track number 3.
For some reason, there's a lot of confusion about what train this is. Train to Stamford's on the other side, going the other direction.